Architecture is a very natural profession for women. I sit at huge meetings with base building architects and engineers, and there's so many women at the table. I kind of look around and it's becoming quite noticeable.
When I look at the way that my career has developed, I think that that is because I was pushing for what I wanted. And it's not all about being pushy and assertive all the time. I think it's about being able to read kind of your colleagues and have those good communication skills, but still be firm and be strong.
What comes natural for me is sitting down and being an architect. It's artistic, it's intellectual, it involves diplomacy, mathematics, knowledge of business. It's a great career for women. Challenges are the challenges you would have inherently in any kind of male-dominated profession.
It's really interesting. I have never seen architecture and interior design from my perspective as being male-dominated. When I was going to school, I would say we were about 50-50. I was used to being in studio with a lot of females, but also kind of surrounded with a lot of male and female architecture students.
It's changing. It's changing. I don't know if it's 50-50, but it's coming very close. There were 60 people in my class, and there's 6 women.
I did start out actually doing corporate interior design, so a very different focus than what I'm doing now. As a young designer, it was really exciting to go through like design and see everything through construction, so I think that taught me about the process really quickly. Ultimately, I really wanted to refocus on retail, restaurants, and hospitality, just because every project is so vastly different, and I was really drawn into the richness of materiality.
So one of my first experiences was architecture and interiors. I was doing huge villas for ministers in Oman, and I was going on these buying trips through Europe. So that was a really interesting experience because nobody ever said architects do architecture, interior designers do interiors. For me, it blended. My first precursor into hospitality design, which is what I've become known for.
To see it when it comes together and it meshes, and the food and the architecture and the design experience are so perfectly threaded together, we're creating memories for people. And so that's the most rewarding.
In the early days, when I was doing hospitality, I kind of was the only one in Washington doing it, and it was very creative, very theatrical, creating spaces where people escape to. They find some joy and pleasure, and it's a whole experiential process.
It's been really interesting to watch how retail and restaurant interiors have started to affect developers in the way that they're planning spaces. It used to be so much more of an afterthought. Now they're understanding the draw of that, and they're designing these buildings and these developments from the inside out, which I think is an interesting shift in our industry, and it gives us certainly a very unique position to be able to deliver on a project like that.
I mean, I've done more hospitality than anything else, but actually now we're really beginning to take on more residential. So this year we've completed 5 big residential projects. One project type begets another project type. And like I said, more and more women are at the table. And many have grown up to go out and compete against me.
When they were deciding to make me a partner here at CORE, it was about, are you a talented designer? Can you successfully manage a team? Are your projects being successful in terms of design, but also finance? It is interesting learning management skills because I think a lot of architects will tell you there's not a lot of framework for that in our industry.
Managing teams of people was something I had to learn. Whenever we sit down to look at something, I try to teach them something. Yeah, I really like that because I'm still learning now. I mean, so that gets me excited and I want to convey that.
When I was in their shoes, what did I get the most value out of as I was being mentored? I saw a lot of females around me being timid, not being as strong as kind of their male counterparts.
A lot of it is just a kind of a inherent fear to speak up loud.
Just constant communication, not being afraid to ask for what you want and demand what you want and what you deserve, what your services are worth.
I've been on site at times where everyone's scratching their heads how to solve something, and I say, give a solution, and they just kind of will shrug me off, and they end up building what I suggest.
If you show that you're extremely capable and you work hard and you're talented, you're gonna rise up